രജനി ഉണ്ടോ കാമിനി?
രജനി ഇപ്പൊ എവിടെ പോയി?
ഇതിനകത്തുണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
ടീച്ചർ മ്യൂട്ടഡ് ആണ്.
ഉണ്ട്.
എന്റെ ഇതിനകത്ത് കാണാനില്ല.
ആണോ?
Kamini, you can start, Kamini.
Okay. Let me first wish all of you a very good day. Today's webinar is organized under the auspices of the National Nutrition Week. National Nutrition Month is observed from September 1st to 30th with the aim of reducing the rate of malnutrition and anemia, improving the health of the children, adolescent girls, pregnant and lactating women. In India, the first week of September is celebrated as Nutrition Week. And the purpose of this week is to raise the awareness among the general public about the value of healthy eating practices and proper nutrition for upholding a healthy lifestyle. A balanced diet and an active, healthy lifestyle are required for this. The theme for this year is to celebrate a world of flavors, so as to motivate people to have a healthy lifestyle while enjoying the flavors of food. We were supposed to have arranged this in the first week of September. Because of the Onam festivity, we could arrange only now. So I'm sorry for that. And for today's talk, we have a very smart and dynamic young lady, Suma Divakar. She is my student. I'm very happy to say that she's my student in BSc and MSc, and a very outstanding student, I should say. She is the professor in the Department of Community Science in College of Agriculture in Vellaini, Trivandrum. She's also in charge of the IGNOR Study Center and project coordinator of the Community Science at Kerala Agriculture University. She has taught food and nutrition for BSc Agriculture students, food science and allied subjects to PG and PhD students in the department since 1997. Her research experience is so vast. Like, she has conducted 9 externally aided projects funded by agencies like State Horticulture Mission, Department of Women and Child Development, etc. And she has supervised 8 PhDs, 12 PG projects at Kerala Agriculture University, and 20 PG projects of the ECO. And she has published over 65 articles in peer-reviewed journals. Her extension experience is also very wide. She has conducted sponsored training programs for SHG groups in food processing, instrumental in forming SHG groups in food processing, supervising rural agriculture work, etc. And she has also functioned as a subject expert in food processing and food science in various seminars, talks, etc. Her academic achievements are: she was a topper in BSc and MSc in Kerala University, and also UGC fellow, obtained gold medal from Kerala University for PhD, honored by Swadeshi Science Congress for PhD work in 2000, and also obtained a second MSc degree in Dietetics and Food Service Management of ECO. Her area of interest is very interesting: value addition of jackfruit, and she has produced 4 PhDs and 5 MScs, and 3 external funded projects have been focused in this theme. So Suma, we're very happy to have you here today, and so welcome you. I welcome you on behalf of everyone present here as part of the, on behalf of AIWC Trivandrum chapter. I welcome you, Suma.
Thank you, ma'am.
I also welcome all the participants, all the members of AIWC. I think from all over India, many have joined, and I'm sure many also will be joining very soon. Suma's topic will be Eat Right, Eat Smart. This is the topic that she's going to address. So over to you, Suma. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the elaborate introduction and nice welcome. I'm really honored to be welcomed by my teacher, who was my source of inspiration, who was my role model during my college days to become a teacher. So, so in this context of Nutrition Week and Nutrition Month, actually it's the Poshan Mah we say now. From 2019, we have been celebrating this as a Poshan Mah because India went a little bit behind during the Corona times. And even before that, we couldn't achieve the nutrition goals of bringing down malnutrition. So the Modi government has brought in the Nutrition Mah also as an important agenda in their development goals. So the actually the theme for the Nutrition Mah, Poshan Mah, is that Mahila and Swasthya, that is health for women, and Bacha or Shikshan. Shikshan means educating the child. So it's actually the all-round development of the family. So let me share my slides to start my presentation. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Can I start? Hope you are all seeing the picture on the screen. It sees celebrations which we are all doing once at least once or twice a week these days. Like every occasion in our life is a celebration, from birth to death. We should say when death is being celebrated, we have feasts and parties for all different occasions. And in all these occasions, food is a major ingredient. And this is one major site now we see of our, especially our children, who are tending to go towards obesity because of overeating and less activity. Are my slides moving, ma'am?
Yeah, we can see the slide. Yeah.
Okay. So we always wonder whether we are living to eat or eating to live. That is the situation of most of our population now, especially after the Corona times with a lot of lethargy coming in. People are spending their time more on foods. So, but when that is one side of the coin, we have another side of the coin where there are a lot of people around the world, around the globe, who do not have even a square meal for a day, not even quantities being met. So the picture of malnutrition in India is that more than 1/3 of our world's malnourished children live in India. That is, the world's malnourished children, we contribute about 33%. And half of the children in our country are underweight. That is, who form the 1/3 of the malnourished people. And women who suffer malnutrition are less likely to have healthy babies. So it's the malnutrition starts from the beginning. From when the child is born, the mother is malnourished, the children are also malnourished. So, and such children have more chances to get infectious diseases, and they're always sick throughout their life cycle. And they are less productive in their work as well. And on the other side, we also have malnourishment in the form of overnutrition, where we say that in India, 14% of our women and 18% of our men, with some urban areas having rates as high as even 40%, who are obese. So obese is a precursor, or it is a forerunner for a lot of other conditions, serious conditions like cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancers, and chronic respiratory diseases. Let's see the picture of Kerala. In Kerala, our children under 5 years of age, among them 20.5% are stunted. So you might know that stunting is an extreme form of malnutrition where not only the weight is affected, even the height of the child, the potential height of the child is not able to be reached. And 12.6% are wasted, that is low weight for height, and 18.7% are underweight or have low weight for age. So among the children between 1 to 5 years, further statistics say that 12% and above are anemic, 17% of them have even vitamin A deficiency. And coming to the statistics of obesity, about 44% in Kerala are obese. Women, especially women, are obese, and among them 71% have abdominal obesity. Abdominal obesity in the sense that it is actually a risk factor for cardiovascular diseases and other lifestyle disorders. And among children also, the obesity is seen to be 3% for boys and 5.3% for girls. This is a study brought out by Achyuta Menon Center for Health Sciences in 2018. So what is the reason for this overeating? Let's see, the present malnutrition situation is more due to overeating. So let's see why it is. It is due to the shift from our traditional foods. We prefer a lot of processed foods. And there is a lot of marketing of junk foods and unhealthy beverages, and irrational preference for energy dense drinks and high sugar and salt foods, which are also harmful to the body. And this was the scenario during COVID. Inactivity. Everybody was pinned to in front of the screens, either in front of the mobiles or in front of the televisions. So now coming to my topic, eat right and eat smart for healthy living. So let's see in detail what are the change trends in our food habits. Especially people of Kerala are more favoring consumption of dishes like the parotta. We have the parotta culture, we say, like we always treat our friends and treat people during occasions with parotta and side dishes like non-vegetarian dishes. So what is happening to this maida is it is being banned in European countries because it is carcinogenic. But in our country, this is not being done, or in Asia as it is not being done, because the bakery industry will come to a standstill if maida is banned. Maida is being banned in Europe because it has a content called alloxane, which is used for refining the flour, which is said to be very harmful to the pancreas and also is found to be carcinogenic, and it can increase the glucose level. The glycemic index of maida is very much higher than the wheat flour. So this parotta is a main culprit of our lifestyle disorders, especially in Kerala. And next, we have a lot of eateries around. It has risen even more after the COVID. Fast foods are good, but they may be giving good food, tasty food, but they're all high in sodium, saturated fat, trans fat, and cholesterol. So if you have this habit of eating this regularly, it can lead to issues like high blood pressure, heart disease, and unwanted weight gain. And regarding junk foods, we are children, even elders like us, are also being addicted to such diseases, to such foods. The problem with junk foods is that, again, it is high in sodium, high in carbs, and it is said that there are studies to prove that excessive consumption of junk food has increased the risk of depression. There are studies to prove this. And the excess carbohydrates and sugar in fast foods can even lead to dental cavities. The dentists are all thriving because of our people moving into a lot of sugary foods. And the fried foods we get from the eateries are filled with trans fats. They don't use the normal saturated fats or the unsaturated fat. They use the trans fats, which are highly carcinogenic. And most of our beverages are having just empty calories without any nutrients. And having excess of sodium in our food can also lead to bloating of our body, because we'll tend to have more water with excess salt. Then there is a lot of tendency for our youngsters, especially, to go into fat diets. There are a lot of diets which say you can bring down your weight in 10 days, 20 days, etc. So there are problems with after the session. It can lead to serious conditions like the immunity is totally lost and the person is bouncing back even to excess weight, etc. These fat diets are seen to cause dehydration, weakness, fatigue, nausea, headache, and even to higher obesity rates. Then we have all the zero-calorie drinks, the Pepsi, Coca-Cola, etc., which our children are all addicted to. They're actually sugar-enriched energy drinks with artificial sweeteners, which are also very dangerous, having long-term health effects. And besides all this, we also have the adulterated foods in our markets, especially the food colors, which are found to be the cause for infertility, hyperactivity, allergy, etc. And the infertility is on the rise. Year by year, the number of infertility cases are on the rise, especially because of our wrong food patterns. And a lot of other health conditions. Even our milk is found to be adulterated with products like urea, chalk powder, detergents, etc. So, and then we have an extreme of how treating ourselves to big feasts and sadhyas, where we're having a lot of enriched, high sugary and high fat components in our meals. So now let's come into the guidelines. This is the picture of our general population going into rich foods and unhealthy foods. So why do we need to have food? Food is for healthy living, growth, development, and activity. Food is, or we say food is for the nutrients and for the phytochemicals. So according to the National Institute of Nutrition, the main dietary goal for the Indian population is to maintain our ideal body weight. Everybody has to maintain his ideal body weight. And there are a lot of calculations for this. Our men are supposed to have an ideal body weight according to the formula 0.91 into height in centimeters minus 152.4 plus 50. Similarly, there is another equation formulated for women, which has the same formula, but instead of 50, you have 45.5. Or we have the BMI, the body mass index. And now it has been, earlier we used to say that up to 18 to 24 is a normal body mass index. Body mass index means it is the ratio of weight divided by height in meters square. So if your body mass index is up to 22, you're normal. Above 22, you're tending towards overweight or obesity. Or in simpler terms, if you want to find your ideal body weight, you have the Broca index. Broca index is minusing 100 from your height in centimeters. If suppose your height is 168 minus 100, 68 should be your ideal body weight. So if you ensure ideal body weight, you are more safe to have to be healthy throughout your life cycle. And most of all, we should ensure good nutritional status of our pregnant and lactating mothers. And regarding children, how to see to it that they are normally growing. If the child is having sufficient food and is healthy, by 1 year he should be 10 kg, 2 years he should be 12, 3 year 14, 4th year 16, and so on. And each year his height should increase by 6 to 7 centimeters. So broadly, NIN says the dietary guidelines for suitable for our Indians are we should have variety in our diets. That's why the nutrition week, the latest theme was have a lot of flavors in your diet. That is indirectly telling that to have variety, to enjoy your meals. Then second, extra care of our pregnant and lactating mothers. Actually, they are responsible for bringing in a new generation of healthy people. So extra care for their food in terms of quantity and also quality. Then exclusive breastfeeding up to 6 months, and then encourage breastfeeding up to 4 years. Then home-based semi-solid foods. That is there is a tendency for the working women to go in for packed or commercial foods. So it's always safe and healthy to have home-based semi-solid foods after 6 months. Then appropriate foods for children and adults. That is, food should be for growth and activity rather than for more of enjoyment, having high salty or high fried foods, etc. Then plenty of fruits and vegetables. We'll go into details of all this. Then moderate use of oils and animal foods, and avoid overeating. So this used to be our earlier guideline. In a nutshell, we used to say, eat adequately of cereals and pulses. This is the food pyramid, and which has in the lower shelf, you have cereals, millets, etc., which you should eat adequately. And next you have the slightly narrower shelf, you have the vegetables and fruits. You should have it liberally. And then you have the meat, milk products, etc., moderately. And finally, on top, you have the fats and oils, which you should have in very small amounts. So that's how the cone depicts the amount of food you should normally have in a food. But now the latest version of a healthy eating is the healthy eating plate, that is also put forward by NIN after 2000. It has given place to, it has replaced the food pyramid, which we used to advise before 2011. So you can see a healthy plate where half of the plate is filled with fruits and vegetables. Usually we are not having such healthy plates. We usually have 3/4 of our plates filled with cereals and then a small portion with our fruits and vegetables or meats or whatever. So the advice is to have half of the plate with fruits and vegetables and half with whole grains and healthy proteins. And along with this, we should also have enough water, 1 to 2 servings per day, or 1 small glass per day along with your meals. Then you should have healthy oils. These are a general guideline for healthy eating. And during the different stages of life, we should always remember that our growth ceases by around 18 years. We don't need high protein foods after 18. We just need moderate protein just to maintain our lives. So we forget about that, and we have a lot of energy and protein foods after we reach our adulthood. So we should see to it that during the growth stage, we have more of high energy and protein foods. And after that, we just need to maintain our body activities and daily activities. So the quantity and quality can be a little lesser than the growing stage. Then this is another depiction of a balanced diet for an adult. It is scientifically presented by the National Institute of Nutrition. The cereals and millets for an adult person who should have 1 serving as 30 grams into 12 times. That is, he should have around 360 grams of cereals and millets the whole day, distributed in 4 meals, 4 to 5 meals. Vegetables, 300 grams per day. Fruits, 100 grams per day. Milk and milk products, 100 grams. 300 grams. That is, you can distribute it throughout the day. Pulses, 30 grams into 2. That is, you can have 60 grams for vegetarians and 30 grams for non-vegetarians. Fats and oils can have up to 25 grams. Similarly, sugar also 25 grams per day. That is the recommended allowance according to the National Institute of Nutrition. So regarding the importance of nutrition during pregnancy, it is not only important that they have a slightly higher quantity than the normal. Some people go on to have a lot of food, which is also dangerous, but you should have quantity which is also high in quality. So more whole grains, sprouts, and fermented foods like your curds, yogurts, etc., which will actually improve the health of the intestine. Then adequate protein foods like milk, meat, etc. Then avoid superstitions like going in for fat foods, advised by people around. Just go in for healthy foods. Then avoid alcohol, tobacco. Then minimum of medicines. That we all know that medicines can affect the growth of the child. And excess of folate-rich foods, especially you taking in a lot of green leafy vegetables, and iron-rich foods like green leafy vegetables, legumes, etc. Avoid tea with meals. Tea is found to be interfering with the absorption of iron. So there is a lot of iron deficiency reported after the first trimester. This is mainly due to the poor absorption of iron. So as far as possible, avoid tea or having tea with meals. Then regarding the children's foods, we say they should be given good amylase-rich food. Amylase-rich foods means it is more of the pre-digested form. That is, you have to germinate the the cereals, so that they become more digestible for the children. So that is, you germinate the foods and then dry it, roast it, and powder it, and have it with pulses, nuts and oils, sugar, and jaggery. So it becomes an excellent combination for their growth. Then I mentioned this earlier, after 6 months, we should be having homemade foods for the children, cooked fruits and vegetables, and hygiene is very important. During this time, if there are gastric problems developed due to poor hygiene, it will stay throughout the life of the child. And then while selecting foods, be careful about reading the labels. Whether suppose a child is having a lactase deficiency, you should be particular that you select foods which are low in lactose, etc. And overfeeding is to be avoided. There's a tendency at times to have children with chubby structure. So that is not encouraged these days. So that will lead to obesity throughout life. Then for growing children, slightly growing, when the child is growing, what we have to give more importance is for the calcium-rich foods, because their bones are developing. So calcium-rich foods are the milk products, green leafy vegetables, protein foods also along with it, and see to it that they're locally available fruits and vegetables, so that they're they are fresh and then more of organic. When you get it from processed form, get it in the processed form, there'll be a lot of chemicals, etc. in it. And children should always have physical activity so that they can have vitamin D developed in their skin. And then importance of fruits and vegetables. This is what is to be highlighted, I should say. Fruits and vegetables, we all know, are rich in both micronutrients and macronutrients. Macronutrients, especially the complex carbohydrates. So most important in fruit and vegetable is the role of fiber. Fiber actually delays intestinal transit. So that is, you have the person has a feeling of fullness when you have fruits and vegetables, and it prevents constipation and all digestive disorders. And it is also found to be preventing diabetes, obesity, cancer, etc. And fruits and vegetables, again, are rich in antioxidants. Antioxidants are now said to be controlling carcinogens. That is, they do not help allow the carcinogens to multiply. That is, the free radicals, which are found to be carcinogenic, can be controlled by the fiber or the antioxidants in the food. So especially fruits and vegetables are valued for this. And the vitamin C and carotenoids also help as antioxidants to prevent serious conditions like cancer. Then immunity. Immunity was a word we heard so much during the corona times. The immunity boosting factors, vitamin A, C, D, and E, along with zinc, selenium, and magnesium, are found most in this fruit and vegetable category. Then which fruits and vegetables to consume? As far as possible, prefer the locally available ones, which will be fresh, seasonal, and have variety in vegetables. Variety is the need for needed because it will bring in the deficient. What is deficient in one vegetable will be made up by the presence in another vegetable or food. And it is said that we should have a colorful selection of vegetables so that actually the color, the pigments are also functioning as antioxidants. We talk about the term rainbow diet. Rainbow diet means including all colored foods in our meal to make it more nutritious. Especially the red vegetables have the lycopene, anthocyanin, which are found to be anti-carcinogenic, good for the heart, urinary health, etc. So you can see the picture of the red colored fruits and vegetables. The yellow vegetables giving rich in beta carotene, giving health to our eyes and immunity. Then the green colored vegetable rich in lutein and indoles, and they also are needed for our eye health and also to prevent cancers. Then you have the purple foods, which are rich in anthocyanins, flavonoids, which actually improve our memory. They are good for our cognitive function. They're also good for immunity. And you can see the foods rich in these pigments. Then you have also the white or the off-white colored fruits and vegetables, the garlic, cauliflower, and onions, which improve the immunity, lymph, and heart health. So that is about the rainbow diet. Rainbow diet, there are so much references. If you just go through the Google, you can see the various studies on the effects of rainbow diet. It is found to prevent diabetes, cancers, strokes, Alzheimer's, cataract. That is, it is being fed to the population for a certain amount of time, and the incidence of all these lifestyle disorders have been studied, and it has found to be going down. It's actually, there used to be a diet pattern called the DASH diet, dietary approaches to stop hypertension. That is, it recommends generous intake of fruits and vegetables. So actually, the rainbow diet is the new form of the DASH diet, that is dietary approach to stop hypertension. And the NHMRC of US actually recommends having 5 kinds of vegetables and 2 kinds of fruits every day. That also comes under the rainbow diet. So this will actually prevent a lot of our lifestyle disorders. So we have been saying you have this, you have that, you should know how much to have. So per day an adult, according to NIN, the green leafy vegetable intake should be 50 grams per day. Other vegetables 200 grams, roots and tubers 50 grams, and fruits 100 grams per day. This is for the adult. And how to use vegetables? That's we always say that we lack the ingenuity to use the vegetables in different ways. So you can have fruits in the form of juice. You can either have it as salads and raitas with curd, yogurt, etc. You can also put in the fruits and vegetables into our breakfast items like upma, dosha, etc. into noodles. And you could use it as sandwich fillings. The fruits and vegetables can also be had in the puree form. Now there is a habit of having fruit bowls in big parties, having colorful fruit bowls with watermelon, cucumber, raw mangoes, etc. And ensure that a plate you have, the meal you have is half filled with vegetables and fruits. Now the present situation, like when we studied around 30 years back, we were told to have salads with fruits and vegetables along with their skin. But now we are in a situation where you're not safe to have, it is not safe to have fruits and vegetables with their skin because of the pesticide residue. There are a lot of harmful effects due to the pesticides being pumped into our fruits and vegetables. So there are ways to remove the pesticide residues. We have a lot of studies at our university. We have brought out some solutions which contain a combination of turmeric, vinegar, salt, etc. So at the home level, we can use salt water while washing vegetables, and also soak the vegetables in vinegar for 15 minutes. Or if possible, we can remove the peel. We can peel the fruits and vegetables and have. This is not what we were studying 35 years back, to have fruits and vegetables with skin. So actually, the turmeric is doing wonders to remove the pesticide residue. You can always wash the fruits and vegetables in turmeric water. So how to start a healthy eating pattern in our children? So from the childhood days itself, we have to train them to have a variety of fruits and vegetables. That is not the trend seen now. Children are more into having processed foods. So it is the responsibility of the family members to see that they have fruits and vegetables from the early days, from starting the pureed forms, then to the raw forms. And you can bring in a lot of quantity and a lot of variety into their intake. So the resistance to fruits and vegetables will not come later on if you start it early. So this you might be knowing how to prevent the nutrient losses in fruits and vegetables, not to throw away the water cooked with fruits and vegetables, then use minimum water while cooking them. Pressure cooking is the best way, of healthy way of cooking of all these fruits and vegetables. And do not cut into very small pieces, etc. Then coming to the requirement of fats, the intake of fats is found to be increasing. That is one major reason for our increasing overweight and obesity. So we say that of our total calorie intake, only 15 to 30% should come from fats. That is, it will work out to about 25 to 40 grams per day. So as far as possible, if economy permits, have a lot of monounsaturated fatty acids. That is using sesame oil, groundnut oil, olive oil, etc., which are more healthy than our other oils. Then oils containing PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acids, like our soya, soybean oil, mustard oil, etc., which we Keralites will find it difficult, but it's practiced in other states. Then fish oils are found to be the most healthy oils. That is, they have omega-3 fatty acids, which prevents a lot of lifestyle disorders. There are a lot of studies you can see. When you Google around, you can see fish oils, how omega-3 fatty acids are helping. Then actually, our coconut oil was sidelined some time back, but now coconut oil has come back again with a good name, saying that it's good for giving immunity. It has a compound called monolaurin, which gives extra protection to our body. Everything in moderation, not much. So, and as far as possible, control the intake of trans fatty acids like vanaspati, etc., because they are found to be carcinogenic. Then regarding the choice of oils, scientifically we say the ratio between polyunsaturated fatty acids and saturated fatty acids is 0.8 to 1. So there are different combinations seen in studies where they blend groundnut, sesame, rice bran oil, etc., to get this particular ratio. So instead of using one oil alone, it is advisable to have to use different types of oil so that you get both unsaturated fatty acids and saturated fatty acids in our diet. Then regarding nuts and oilseeds, have them in moderation. Choose low-fat milk products. Then limit eggs to up to 3 per week. Limit bakery foods. Prevent using reheated oils. Then prevent overeating, so that you can maintain your ideal body weight. Then hints. Am I exceeding the time?
No, you can take your time, no problem. No problem. You can continue.
Yeah. Some more hints for obesity management, since that is the issue of the corona times. The slow and steady reduction of ideal body weight is ideal, rather than going for quick patterns, quick remedies. Encourage physical activity of at least up to 45 minutes for children and half an hour for adults. Eat small and regular meals. Instead of going into fasting after having a heavy meal, it's always advisable to have small regular meals. Say you can have 4 to 5 meals which are very small. So the metabolism works out faster and you burn off all the energy. And you can cut down, you need to cut down on your sugar, salt, and alcohol. Have more of fiber-rich foods and more of unsaturated fats. Unsaturated fat means that is you are not to have animal foods. You can have the vegetable oils. Then low-fat milk. Eliminate trans fatty acids. That's what I said about vanaspati, margarine, etc. Then stress. Stress is one reason for obesity. Stress makes us sometimes to have more of food, or it will also affect our metabolism, so that we tend to be obese. Then as we have the food pyramid, we also have a physical activity pyramid. What all you can do every day. So every day, as far as possible, walk at least 10 to 20 minutes for your work. Try to park your car or scooter around 10 minutes away from your place of work, so that you can walk a bit. Try to use the stairs rather than the lift. And then at least have stretching exercises 5 to 6 times a week. And 2 to 3 times a week, you can do some exercises which involves sitting up, weightlifting, etc. And on top of the pyramid, you can see people sitting in front of the screen. So limit that. So what we see in the bottom, that is more needed. That is, as far as possible, try to walk at least half an hour adults and 45 minutes for children. So what are the health benefits of such physical activity? Our food management becomes effective only if you blend in physical activity also. So physical activity will control body weight and composition, reduces risk of chronic diseases. Then it increases the HDL cholesterol. If you're having less of exercise, the HDL cholesterol is always down. Then stronger muscles, bones, and joints. It improves flexibility. It wards off depression. That is what is most important these days. If you're idle, you tend to become more depressed. Then it improves moods, sense of well-being, and self-esteem. So I was telling about the time, at least 30 minutes. And this chart may not be that clear. This tells you about the calorie expended per activity. You can see that even while sleeping, we are spending calories. 65 calories per hour is being spent. When you walk up the stairs, you spend the most calories, that is 1,100 calories. And along with, just left out about the use of salt. Salt usage has to be used very moderately, because salt has both sodium and chloride. Even though it is needed for nerve functions, etc., but high sodium can lead to high BP and stomach cancers. So since it's not only the cooking salt we consume, the foods we consume also have sodium content in them. So use pickles, papads, ketchups, and etc. in moderation. Instead of that, you can increase the amount of potassium-rich foods, so that your BP can be maintained normally. And salt, we get only iodized salt these days, but see to it that you select the iodized salt itself. Control the use of processed foods, because processed food means your sugary drinks, pizzas, white breads, fruit juices, pastries, fried foods, etc., because they have more of synthetics and chemicals. And above all, ensuring food safety. Food safety is a big issue these days, because a lot of food poisonings are being reported. due to spoilage from wrong storage practices and unhealthy, unhygienic storage practices, and the addition of adulterants, toxins, pesticide residue, etc. So as far as possible, select foods which have qualities like AgMark, FSSAI, etc., and good, best, safe storage practices at home. Perishable food should be refrigerated as soon as possible. Dried food should be frequently taken out in the sunlight and dried and kept along with neem leaves, etc. And cooked food should be cooled immediately and then stored. And personal hygiene is very important. And above all this, the requirement of water. Water, at least 8 glasses of boiled water, that is up to 2 liters per day, should be had. Coffee and tea are okay if it is taken in moderation. However, coffee is more dangerous than tea if it is an addiction, because coffee and tea have caffeine, which are stimulants, but beyond a certain degree, beyond 200 milligrams per day can cause neuro problems. But tea is green tea is comparatively better because it has healthy components like polyphenols, flavonoids, etc. So tea can be preferred over coffee if it is used frequently. And so there is a formula for taking in water. We have a formula given as 0.033 into your body weight. So you can see how much water you need per day and how much we are having. So water is as essential as the food we have. And this is another category of food we always ignore, probiotics, that is our curds and yogurts, etc., which actually are needed by the body to keep the gut healthy, because we need microbes which are healthy, which are thriving in our intestines, which will be maintained only through the intake of curds and yogurts. So then this was regarding coffee and tea. Coffee, I would say once in a while is okay, but not to make it a habit. Tea interferes with your iron absorption. So regarding processed foods, we should restrict our processed foods because they have high calories without vitamins and minerals, food additives, higher sugar and salt. Then last part, we should also respect the diet of our elderly. They need fewer calories, not like us, because they don't move much, and their oil intake should be restricted to up to 20 grams per day. Then they are prone to deficiencies like calcium, because osteoporosis, all this comes in later part of our life. So have milk, fruits and vegetables. They should be in the well-cooked form, less spicy and less salt. And they should be given in small amounts and more frequently. And adequate water. This is what is observed. We see a lot of dehydration and hyponatremia because there is low intake of water. These are some calorie contents which I have just noted that we can talk about in our discussion. And finally, to bring it all in a nutshell, I would say the main dietary hints is prefer traditional homemade foods, not to replace meals with snacks, limit sugar and processed foods, prefer fortified foods. When you select your grocery, see that you get fortified food so that you get extra nutrients, and read labels to see that you get what you want. So finally, the notice, we are what we eat. We need to eat healthy food to stay fit and healthy. Eat right and be bright. Thank you.
Thank you, Subha. That was a wonderful presentation. And in such a short time, you have mentioned or communicated all the aspects of eat right and be smart. And thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. I'm sure there are people who have a lot of doubts. We know everything, but at the same time, we don't know anything. That's what after today's presentation, I feel. Okay. I think the floor is open for discussion. Anybody can communicate or ask any questions to Suma. Come on. Did you all understand anything?
I don't think I've told anything new. It is all what we have been learning all these years.
I'm Manjula Ghosh from Calcutta.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want to ask her a question that as we are from Calcutta, that is Bengal, we use mustard oil for cooking.
Yeah.
But you didn't mention mustard oil in your, so I want to know whether that is healthy or not, mustard oil.
Of course, ma'am. Mustard oil is very much healthy. I didn't mention it because I realized that a lot of Malayalis were in this group. So I thought actually mustard oil is having a lot of unsaturated fatty acids, and it actually is a healthy oil which can be had by anyone. Unsaturated fatty acids are what is preferred compared to saturated fatty acids for our health to prevent coronary disorders, especially.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Suma, can I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am.
For people, elderly people like us, I'll be 70 now.
You don't look, ma'am. You don't look.
No, I am 70 or I'm going to be 70 anyway. So buttermilk or curd, which is better for us?
Ma'am, buttermilk is better. Curd in not higher amounts. Buttermilk is a more diluted form. Buttermilk, you can have curd if the milk used is without the cream, you know. So high fat can be avoided.
But I am a complete vegetarian, so
yeah.
I'm asking you because of that.
Yeah, you need not avoid curd, but buttermilk is better.
Okay.
You can rehydrate yourself better with buttermilk than curd. It has more water content.
Yeah, thank you.
I also have a question, Suma.
Yes, ma'am.
About proteins. You have mentioned about proteins.
Yeah.
And is there any difference between the different dals? Because even in Ayurveda treatment, they say you avoid heavy dals.
Yeah.
You know, chana and urad dal. That
Yeah.
is, so what is the difference between the different dals, and should we avoid any of these, especially as we grow older?
Ma'am, these proteins are to be avoided when you have conditions like gout. Gout is when you have inflammations of your joints and all that. So there you're supposed to bring down the level of protein. But then if you totally avoid protein, it will affect you. You can have moderate levels, but especially pulses have anti-nutrients also. They actually have some anti-nutrients like oxalates, tannins, etc., which will interfere with the absorption of some nutrients. So you can bring down the level of, you needn't totally avoid pulses, but you should bring down if you are having some problems like arthritis, gout, etc. Actually, proteins, that is due to wrong protein metabolism that you're getting all those conditions. So you have to bring down the level, but not to avoid.
No, but is there any difference between the different dals, different lentils?
She's asking whether the difference between tur dal and kadla parpu, chana dal, like that, isn't it? So?
Yes, according to our nutritional standards, all of them are equally good. Actually, the flatulence factor is there, because after certain age we feel heavy, it's not digestible. So you can actually sprout them to make it more digestible. That's why after certain age we feel we cannot have pulses. That's because in our fermented form, like our idli, dosha and all that form, it is healthy actually, rather than having it just cooked.
Yeah.
Thank you, Suma.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other question? Can I ask you something? Why is it that the obesity for girls is more?
Madam, women are generally having higher fat content generally compared to men. So that fat cells increase faster because the number of fat cells itself is naturally we have more than men. So that will tend to increase when you have less of activity and more of energy-rich foods.
And I think during adolescent period also, girls, because of PCOD problem, they may put on weight, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, obesity is the reason for PCOD. That's what they say.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Not the other way around.
No, ma'am. Obesity should actually, the body, maintaining the body weight itself brings down the cases of PCOD. There are a lot of cases when you can bring down PCOD because of managing your obesity.
Okay. Thank you. Any other question? No question? If everybody has understood what you have told them.
Suma, I'm Girija.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
yeah, I joined a little late. Actually,
okay, ma'am.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it was a very good presentation. Anyway, I heard the later part. Then
ma'am.
I'm really happy that you made a new pyramid. I'm seeing for the first time that physical activity pyramid. Whose idea is that? Or
Ma'am, I got it from a journal only. I got it from a journal. It's not mine.
Okay. It's a very good one, which
Yeah.
I like the best. And it shows how much exercise is required for each person, isn't it?
We are missing out on exercise. That's a main problem with us.
I'm seeing such a diagram for the first time. That's it.
It's there, ma'am. It's there.
Okay.
Rainbow diet also I'm seeing for the first time.
Oh,
Which
I
one?
can Google that, ma'am. Lot of studies on rainbow diet.
Rainbow diet.
Rainbow diet. Rainbow
I'm
diet.
seeing for the
I've
first
seen
time.
that last time Uma was talking about rainbow diet. Am I right?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Uma was talking about rainbow diet. Yeah, rainbow diet is right now it is very common.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it was a good presentation, Suma.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And the models you've used are all Indians, I like that. Mostly in all these pictures, they use Americans or other people.
Yeah. When you don't have much time to search, no, you find only.
You have used only Indian children and
Yes,
Indian
ma'am.
parents. So that is really different.
Okay, good presentation, Suma.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other person who wants to interact with Suma? Usha?
Yes, Kamini. So
Any-
if
any
there are
nobody-
no more questions, we can.
Let me see if chat box velladu nokkate. No, there's something in the chat box. Okay.
We have the YouTube link. So I'll just post it in the chat box in case anybody is interested in seeing that on YouTube or to circulate it among their groups. So I've just put it in the chat box.
Okay.
So today I see that we have more non-members of AWC and less than AWC members. So maybe, I can just add a few words about All India Women's Conference, though I am sure that most of the people know about our organization. All India Women's Conference is one of the oldest women's organizations in India. And I can say that maybe the first national women's organization established in 1927. And the founders included Margaret Cousins, an Irish lady who was with Annie Besant, and Sarojini Naidu, Vijayalakshmi Pandit, and the whole range of women freedom fighters and the women activists right from 1927 onwards. And we have been part of the freedom struggle and the history of India itself. In one of our earlier webinars, we had explained how we had roles with regard to the national flag, the national anthem, and even in the Constituent Assembly, many of the ladies who were members of the Constituent Assembly were from AWC. And as of now, we have more than 700 branches across the country. In almost all the states, we have branches, and more than 1 lakh voluntary members. All the members are voluntary workers. And AWC Central Office gives some programs. They have some programs designed for empowerment of women and for helping the children in health, in legal awareness, and in climate change, energy, and many of the topics. In addition to that, all the branches are independently registered bodies. So they take programs on their own from the state governments or from the central government, and many of them have permanent projects running. And the Women's Indian Association of Chennai is an example. It is actually older than All India Women's Conference. And the Adayar Cancer Center, which is known all over the world, that was started by Women's Indian Association, WIA, under Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy. So that is an example of the type of work that we have been doing. And during this COVID period, we had a series of webinars on past presidents of AWC. And I think that may be available shortly on YouTube. it will be worthwhile to go through that because it shows the kind of leadership we had over the years from 1927. Like as I mentioned, Sarojini Naidu, Vijayalakshmi Pandit from Kerala, we had Lakshmi and Menon, and a large number of eminent women who have given leadership to this organization. So that is just a short introduction. We have nearly 20 branches in Kerala, and Kerala and Karnataka come under the South Zone B of All India Women's Conference. We have 20 branches in Karnataka as well. So I would invite all of you who are interested in our work to please become members of AWC in the nearest branch. In case you need any information, please feel free to contact me or Kamini. And we also have our website, awc.org.in. There you will get more information, and you will get information about all the types of projects and work that we are doing all across the country. So that is a very short introduction about AWC. Now, can we wind up, Kamini?
Yes, I think no more questions. I think there are no more questions, I think.
So I thank you, Suma, for spending time with us and for that excellent presentation. It was very, as Kamini said, you have put all the important points in such a short presentation and made it very interesting as well. And
It was my pleasure, ma'am. It was my pleasure.
something new for all of us, I think.
It was not at all boring, it was not at all boring.
Yes, it was very interesting. And I mean, you introduced new things like the pyramid that was
Physical
just
activity.
Plus rainbow diet. Even I was hearing about the rainbow diet for the first time. So thank you, Suma, for being with us. And I hope you will remain associated with All India Women's Conference.
Sure.
Happy to have you with us.
Thank you.
And I
There
thank
is
all.
one, excuse me, Usha, there is one comment in the chat. Thank you, Usha ji. Useful information we had. Thank you, Suma ji. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we had members from other states also joining us. So I thank all the members of AWC who have joined from different parts of the country, and all the other members, non-members who have joined us. We continue having these webinars, and I don't know if many of you may be aware that we have a monthly talk on literary and cultural topics under the Literary and Cultural Forum of All India Women's Conference. We have had very eminent people talking to us about literature, dance, theater, music, and a variety of topics that we are having now every first Saturday of the month. So I hope if you are interested, you can keep in touch with us, and we'll be sending you the link to the webinar when we have that on the first Saturday of every month. With that, I conclude this. I thank you, Kamini, for coordinating this webinar, and thank you all of you for joining. Many of you are old friends, and many are old friends from college days. So really happy to see all of you here. I hope you will keep up the association with All India Women's Conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Indeed, I'm very proud of my student.
Oh, man.
So dynamic, and she brings so well in her career. So we, as teachers, we are proud of you. So
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It's all your blessing.
Yeah, because so many of our teachers are here. That itself shows, how much our work is appreciated. Really nice to see that, Suma.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. I will end the meeting here.